try to kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's why we're here.
That is caught! Left center! Reds win! And this ball is launched. High and very deep to right, long gone. It's second of the night. Elly De La Cruz.
Short lead for Pena. Larkin drills it. Do you believe this? That's going to be gone! Back to back. Walk-off home runs. How about this? He's back. He's back. He's back.
And a swing and a drive. Deep left field. This one belongs to the Reds. Swung on and hit deep to left field. That ball is going to be gone. Home run. And the Reds put it tied to score.
Goes to second one. Around to first. Got a double play. And the Reds sweep the Cubs. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Way back there. And gone into the second deck and left. Christian Encarnacion Strand walks it off. Archer does it in his major league debut. He gets the final 3 outs, and the Reds get an extra inning win. A thriller 5-4.
Swung on. Fly ball. Hit to deep right field. That ball is going to be gone. A grand slam home run by Mike Cameron.
2 outs, 2 on. Reds down by 1. Larkin down the line. It's a winning. It's a winning. Here comes Tucker. Here comes Steins. Larkin's won the game. Barry Larkin gets mobbed. Look at this scene. It's synergy.
The stretch, the pause and the pitch. And a line drive, base hit left center field. A single for Aaron Boone. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won 8 in a row.
Kobayashi with a long look turns it loose, and Dunn hits it to deep right. It's all over. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won their 5th game in a row. They've defeated the Cleveland Indians on an Adam Dunn 3-run home run, 4-2. In on the corners at first and third. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Roy Green pitching, no bunt. Ground ball by the third baseman into left field. Jay Bruce rounds third. This one belongs to the Reds.
That's hit pretty good. Guess what? He doesn't need speed. That's gone. He's the king of the Queen City tonight.
With 1 out here in the 11th inning, you sure got to go now. 1 out, pull down the left field line. That ball is going to get the winning run in. Here comes Jay Bruce rounding third, heading toward the plate. And this one belongs to the Reds.
Huge situation for Votto. Why you paying the big bucks to deliver the goods with 2 outs in the 9th inning? Can he do it? In the gap, right center field, and Votto delivers the goods.
Hit deep center field. Hank Hill going back at the warning track. Oh, he's gone. It's gone. Joey Votto is delivered.
Hello, Reds fans, and welcome in to the Chatterbox Reds pregame show. Today is June 6th, 2025, and the Reds are going to play the Diamondbacks tonight at Great American Ballpark. I'm Mike, and with me is a guy that definitely doesn't have a pet hamster named after Garrett Hampson, Ricky Logan. How are you doing today, buddy?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm excited for a win. How about that? Let's win a series. I think we've gone through a lot. We've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of consternation, as I might say, with the fan base and just this team and how it's hitting, especially with Austin Hayes on the IL. And I'd love to, get that off our back and hang some big numbers, some crooked numbers against Arizona.
Yeah, that sounds great. We're due for a series win, and I think now's the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this lineup here. I know the big headline here is there's no Elly De La Cruz. It had been originally reported that he was going to back home in, I believe, the Dominican for the whole series, right? He was going to go to be with his family, go for the funeral for his sister, unfortunately, who passed away. And then reports came out today that he will be back later today even, and is expected to play in tomorrow's game. So what are your thoughts on Ellie's bereavement list and how that's cut short and how he might affect this lineup here, Ricky?
I think it just shows that he is really dedicated to this team, really putting the team first. Honestly, I think any other person would take the time to spend with their family and grieve, and you could tell that he wasn't quite right on the day that he found out versus the Cubs. And he did have a good game, but just like emotionally, you could tell he wasn't there, calling timeout in his first at bat before the at bat even started. And, that's real testament to his attitude towards the game. And I don't want to hear, I think Nick Kirby tweeted today, I don't want to hear anybody talk about Ellie's dedication to the game of baseball.
Yeah, it's very clear that he wants to win. It's very important for him to be in the lineup and be contributing to this team, which is awesome. That's something that you absolutely want out of your superstar. Now I'd be fine if he took the whole weekend. Just I completely understand. Family comes first, and I don't want this guy feeling like, hey, I have to be back. But if this is what he wants, I think people cope with things like this in different ways. Some people need to get back into what they know, what they're used to, so that they can, move on. Some people need more time to grieve. So I'm, whatever he chooses to do, I'm fine with. Like TC says, family comes first. And I'm just excited that even after this is over, I get to see Elly De La Cruz on the field every single day for the Reds. And that's just exciting for me. We can also talk about, I guess, his replacement, sort of. We see that Matt McLain has moved over to shortstop, and Garrett Hampson is playing second base. We obviously have a left-handed pitcher that we're facing today. What are your thoughts on the lineup? Maybe you can go through it a little bit and see what your thoughts are here, Ricky.
Yeah, we got TJ Friedl leading off, playing center field. His mainstay. He's been one of the better leadoff hitters in the game, honestly. I think he's second in batting average at 300. And we got Santiago Espinal in the 2-hole. For his left-handers, I'm all right with it for now. Tyler Stevenson at DH today. That means we got Trevino catching, especially with the news that Austin Wynns was DFA'd today for the guy in the 5-hole CES. Spencer Steer actually playing left field today. Is that the first time he's played left field all year?
Either first or second. He hasn't played much out there at all.
And then Jose Trevino behind the plate, Connor Joe at right, Matt McLain, like you mentioned, playing shortstop, Garrett Hampson at second base, and our starter, Nick Lodolo.
Yeah, clearly we see Joe and Hampson in there, and even Trevino in there because of the left-handed starter, Eduardo Rodriguez. I do have a theory, though. I think the last time we saw Ellie out of the lineup, I think he DH'd once, right? They had Hampson play short, and McLain stayed at second, and Espinal played third. And my theory is that McLain is at shortstop so that they can get Lux in the game as soon as the left-handed pitcher is out of the game. They're like, okay, we are going to platoon Garrett Hampson and get him out of there the moment we can get Lux against the righty. So that's, while I don't love seeing Hampson in the lineup, I think that this alignment is hopefully to be able to get our good left-handed bats into the lineup sooner, whether it's Benson for Joe or Fraley for Joe and Lux for Hampson, be able to take advantage of the right-handed bats once we get Rodriguez out of the game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and Rodriguez hasn't been great this season either. He's coming back from injury. He was on the 15 DIL with shoulder inflammation. He missed the majority of last season too. So he was their big free agent signing in 23 for $80 million over 4 years, and the injury really got him. And I believe there was actually some trade rumors back in the day for the Reds to try to trade for him at the deadline, and probably a good thing that they didn't.
Yeah, I think actually there was even rumors that he might sign with Cincinnati last offseason. I think there might have been something where there was at least an offer made to him. And, as it seems for right now, it really does seem like we might have dodged a bullet. So I think he's pitched well, and obviously pitching depth is good. But anytime you can, anytime you're injured for the majority of a season, then you come back and get injured again. And we'll go over his stats, but 1-3 with a 7 ERA when he has been pitching is not good, especially for a starter. Sometimes a reliever can get up high because have one crazy outing that blows you up. No, he's had some sustained mediocrity, I'd say, in this, which means unfortunately he's probably going to mow down the Reds today. But I did check. He did have one start. So the last time he started in the majors, I think was May 14th or 15th. But he did have one. He did go down to the Arizona Complex League on May 30th, and he did pitch. He went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, had 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. So, a little good with the bad, but gave up 3 home runs. So hopefully that is a good sign for our new addition, CES, who is coming up from AAA, finished his rehab assignment and is ready to rejoin this team. Ricky, what are your thoughts on CES joining the lineup and how he can add a power dynamic back to this lineup?
Yeah, it's exciting. He was really hitting the ball hard in AAA. And we need power in the lineup. I don't have the number offhand, but we have a very, very good record when we do hit a home run. So having a power bat in the lineup, and especially if Candelario can come back relatively soon too and perform, I would take a Jamer Candelario over Garrett Hampson any day. And CES he's got unlimited power. I mean, he could put a ball in the upper deck effortlessly. So it's much needed, and hopefully he can remain consistent, just putting the bat on the ball, because they're going to find the seats.
Yeah, for sure. And before we get into Nick Lodolo, I ask, please like the stream. This has been a lot of fun with Ricky and I, and the only way we keep being able to do it is by liking the stream. If you could do that, it helps with the algorithm. It helps get this in front of more people, and it's been scientifically proven to help the Reds win. So, if we get some likes in here, that'd be great. I also would like Candelario to come back so we can get some more Friday night candy stats.
Yes.
It was proven that we were much better, or he was much better after he did the Friday night pregame show with us. And so hopefully we'll be able to get that back in there. Yeah. And then we'll be able to let our long nightmare with Garrett Hampson go away, because we'll have somebody that can also play third base. All right, let's get into Nick Lodolo. Nick Lodolo had a pretty good outing in his last time out. It was against the Cubs. Very good offense. The Cubs, 6 innings pitched, 0 runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So pretty excited to see what he's beginning to round into form, especially since those are good lines, but he was battling. Like, he had to battle around some poor control. He had to battle around some hard hits around him, and he came out with no runs. So what do you expect to see from Lodolo tonight here, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm expecting, I don't want to say more of the same, because the last outing he did struggle with the command, but he fought through it. It was a very gritty performance by him. I would like to see just a solid 6 innings on, just to kind of get like we had the last time out. His curveball is his put away pitch, and if he can get his fastball command working, that he's gonna rack up the strikeouts with that.
Yeah, I agree. Let's use that to kind of segue into the Diamondbacks lineup. We have Ketel Marte DHing. He's normally their second baseman, but he's DHing. He is batting first. Geraldo Perdomo, their shortstop, batting second. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Playing left, batting third. Old friend Eugenio Suarez batting fourth and playing third. Randall Grichuk playing right. Gabriel Marino catching. Ildemaro Vargas playing second base. Tim Tawa playing first base and batting eighth, and then Alec Thomas, center fielder, batting ninth. What are your thoughts on this lineup? I don't think Lodolo's ever faced any the Diamondbacks as he's been playing.
Yeah, that's a very tough lineup to pronounce. As far as stats go, he hasn't played the Diamondbacks, but he's played a couple of their hitters. Ildemaro Vargas is 2 for 6 with the home run. Randall Grichuk is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and Josh Naylor is 1 for 2 with the strikeout. But I think Vargas and Grichuk are the only two playing. So
yeah, it seems like Vargas and Tim Tawa are their right-handed platoon bat. Or I'm sorry, Grichuk and Tawa are their right-handed platoon bats. And it's very interesting because the people that they're platooning with are Josh Naylor, somebody that they brought in who's a very good hitter. They brought in from Cleveland this past year. And then Corbin Carroll, their top player, who's been, I think he has 18 home runs so far this year. He's been on fire. He's in top 5, I think, for MVP odds at the moment. He's getting a night off. I think part of that is, they said he's just played 3 days in a row. We're facing a tough left-handed pitcher, and he is left-handed. And he's also, I think he got pulled from a game last week for some back soreness. So I think they're probably just trying to nurse that along and prevent that from being a IL stent. So we'll take advantage. I love not having those guys in the lineup. Those, those are their best hitters, and being able to go face left-handed pitching with Arizona Diamondbacks lineup without them sounds great. They've actually been they've been a very, very good offense. If we take a look overall, Arizona scored tons of runs. They're up there. They're kind of like a mini version of the Cubs, where they've hit very well and they haven't pitched very well. They haven't hit as well as the Cubs and haven't pitched as poorly as the Cubs, but you kind of have this where they're scoring lots of runs in these. I think they won their last game 11-10. So, but against left-handed pitching, they only have a 95 WRC plus with a 13th, which is only 13th among the league, while against right-handed pitching, they have a 125 WRC plus, which is second in the league. So, throwing a lefty against them, I think it would have been great if we would have been able to get Abbott and Lodolo against them. But today is a prime chance to steal one from a very good offense. Best players sitting, very good pitcher going on their poor platoon side. Let's take advantage of that tonight.
Yeah, and then Suarez, he's like the fear of the lineup in this outing. He's got an 815 OPS and 16 home runs. And he also has 18 career multi-home run games, and he had a 4 home run game earlier this season. The Reds, Scooter Gennett was the only one for us. So he's the 19th player in MLB history to do that. That's pretty great.
Yeah, he's been very good. He started off really good and then kind of has cooled off and I say cooled off, he's just become what the Reds know. He's this dude that strikes out a bunch and hits bombs. So that's what you got. And let's hope that we can keep him from doing that tonight, because I bet you he gets a standing ovation, or at least a ovation, for being here and being in the lineup for what he's done, what he did with the Reds. But let's hope that he doesn't hit any home runs. I would really appreciate that, yeah. Suarez. All right, let's talk a little bit about Eduardo Rodriguez, their starter. We mentioned really struggled this year. He is coming back from a shoulder injury. I noticed he also has yet to give up less than 3 earned runs in any start he's had at any level. So, I know the Reds struggle against left-handed pitching, but come on now. Here we go. We got a guy who is rusty, coming off an injury. I really, really hope that we can get something off the we can get ourselves up off the mat here against left-handed pitching and show that we can show some fight, especially with CES back in the lineup.
Yeah, he's 1-3, 7.05 ERA. He's got a 4-seam fastball, a changeup, a cutter, a sinker, and a slider. His fastball averages 91 miles per hour. Active Reds are 9 for 35 with no home runs. Santiago Espinal's 1 for 9, 2 strikeouts. Jose Trevino 1 for 7. Connor Joe 2 for 6. CES 1 for 2 with a walk. Spencer Steer 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Hampson 1 for 3. Lux 1 for 3. And then TJ Friedel's 2 for 2 with a triple. So that'd be hopefully TJ can keep that perfect streak going and at least table set.
Yeah, that would be great. I know that I think it would be better for everyone if we could get this left-handed pitcher out of the game early, get into their bullpen, which we'll get to next. Didn't have an off day like we did. So really begin to burn the bullpen and get Garrett Hampson out of the game so that we can, score some runs and really set ourselves up for a good beginning of the series. Let's talk about that bullpen. The Reds had a day off. They were pretty rested. And then the game before that, Wade Miley ate a couple innings, and he is not going to be he's going to be resting for a start. So it's just we have lots of different options. I would imagine that if we get to it, he's going to probably stick to his A bullpen, which has been Ashcraft in the 7th, Santillan, who's been a little shaky recently, but has, righted the ship a little bit, and then Pagan in the 9th. I don't see any any deviation on what we would see there, especially if we had the lead in a close game. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really liking Lyon Richardson this season. I think he's really stepping up into that role of a solid relief pitcher. And with Ashcraft struggling here a little bit lately with his command, I wouldn't be shocked to see Lyon get a more pressure situation. He only threw 14 pitches on Wednesday. Pagan and Ashcraft both pitched on Tuesday. They had 18 and 17 pitches. And then Barlow and Santillan only had 7 pitches too. So really fresh bullpen. And if we can get a solid outing out of Lodolo, I think I really like our chances.
Yeah, I think our left-handed pitchers are going to be important too, just because of the impact lefties they have on the bench, right? Yeah. They have Carroll, they have Naylor. Who knows if they're slated as full day off or they're available to pinch hit? Who really knows? But getting Taylor Rogers or Brent Suter coming in to face one of those guys, or at least the threat of that, to keep them from pinch hitting would be great. I know that it's tough. Rogers has been real shaky, and I don't really trust him very much, and it seems like others in the chat don't either, but just the threat of it may be enough to keep those right-handed platoon batters in there for as long as we can. So we'll see. Hopefully Lodolo just has length, and then it doesn't even matter. He goes 6, maybe 7 innings, and we're not even having to worry about that. That would be pretty great. Another aspect of this game is the weather. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the weather is looking like? It looked like there might be some rain coming through, maybe 8:30, maybe a little bit later, which can really throw a wrench into things, especially for the starting pitching.
Yeah, as of now, it's got 83 degrees with a slight chance of rain. The wind is blowing out towards left field at 4 miles per hour. So hopefully CES can put a ball in the air, and maybe we'll get one out, but weather shouldn't really be too much of a factor until later.
Yeah, I really hope that this doesn't really ruin. Maybe, like, I'm just imagining Lodolo in the 4th inning rolling completely under control. Then there's a 45-minute delay, and all of a sudden it's Lyon Richardson in, or it's somebody like that. And that, I really, really hope that we don't have some issue like that. Obviously that also would play to them as well, right? I highly doubt they would bring this guy who's coming back from the IL of shoulder inflammation. If there's any delay at all, I'm sure they would pull that. But boy, I really hope there isn't any weather that affects the game in any real way. I really hope that passes by.
Yeah.
So let's talk before we get to the NL Central. Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the series. So slated tomorrow, it looks like there's going to be Ryan Nelson, the right-handed pitcher, who's 2-1 with a 3.45 ERA, going against Nick Martinez, who's 3-6 with a 3.89 ERA. And then the Sunday game, hopefully we'll be going for a sweep there. Looks like we have Brady Singer going for us against Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen, who's been their ace in the past, and then they this year has really struggled. He's got a 5.37 ERA, 4-7. So really an opportunity here for the Reds to make hay against some pitchers here. So hopefully the offense comes back to life and our pitchers can hold on against this good Diamondbacks offense. What are your thoughts on the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, we kind of caught a break. Corbin Burns got hurt in his last start. And I don't think it's serious. They said he felt tightness. He didn't feel a pop in his elbow. So they're just kind of taking it easy on him right now. But kind of caught a break, and we're not hitting their top of the rotation either. So I think
he did go onto the IL. So I think
I
think he did. So hopefully it's not Tommy John for him, but we don't have to face him, and that's great. I appreciate that. So. All right, let's go into the NL Central rundown. Ricky, do you have that one for me?
I do. The Chicago Cubs are in first place, 39-23. They're taking on the Tigers today. It's Ben Brown versus Tarek Skubal. The Cardinals are 34-28. They're taking on the Dodgers. That is Justin Robleski versus Sonny Gray. The Milwaukee Brewers are 34-29 versus the Padres. Randy Vasquez versus Chad Patrick. We're taking on the Diamondbacks. We're in fourth. And the Pirates are 23-40. They're taking on the Phillies. And that's Joe Ross versus Bailey Falter.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully we'll be able to, we'll be able to gain some ground here, either in the Central or in the wild card position after we beat the Diamondbacks here. I know the Diamondbacks are maybe like a game or a game and a half up on us in the wild card too. So this is somebody that we're chasing. So this becomes important if we are really going to go in and try to make the playoffs. If we're going to get hot in June, and these are the teams we have to beat, right? These are the teams we have to not only beat to get to jump in the standings, but also get tiebreakers for. So let's go out and win today. Our fearless leader, Nick Kirby, is going to be in attendance today down at Great American Ballpark. So look for him on the TV broadcasts. One time I think sometimes they find him on there, and Sadak is willing to point him out. But if you're going to the game and you see him, make sure you say hi. He's been awesome to work with and get us help set up. So I really appreciate that. And he deserves a good night off to go and enjoy the ball game. All right. So this is going to bring us to the crystal ball part of the show, where everyone takes a stab at what they think the score is going to be tonight. What do you think, Ricky? How are you going to see tonight's game? Is Nick Kirby going to be our good luck charm down in the stadium?
Yeah, he's going to be. I think we're going to put up some runs. I think we're due for an outburst versus left-handed pitching. And I think that we're going to get more of the same from Eduardo Rodriguez. So I think he's going to live up to his ERA. We're going to score 9 runs tonight, and we're going to win 9-5.
I like that. We skipped over the what's to watch for. Did you? I'm sorry about that. I'm using this to just filibuster more for my prediction. Okay. But what is your what to watch for too with you, Ricky?
Yeah, kind of keeping the theme for scoring runs. The Reds have outscored their opponents in the first inning 50-22, and they sadly are winless in extra innings. So hopefully we could get a nice jump start in the first, get Rodriguez knocked around, score a lot of runs. But yeah, 50-22 in the first inning.
I like that. I like a 5 spot in the first inning. How about that? We just keep that going, and we do that. Looks like Daryl Morrow, he says, thanks for the show, guys. 7-5 Reds. I like that. Let's that. Go. That game is going to be a nail biter at the end. Pagan's going to have a guy on first and second when he gets the final out. But hey, we'll take a W. And then TC Thompson, who's been here since the beginning of the show, I appreciate it. He says 6-3 Cincy or 16-3 because we destroy the teams in the first game of the series. Yeah. That is true. Let's
just hope it's not 16-3, so we at least score runs the next 2 games.
Yeah. I was going to say we don't have a great track record when we score more than 10 runs in the next game, which is it's just not great. So yeah, but I love that we're seeing. I'm loving that we're seeing positive Reds winning there. So for me, my what to watch for is actually Corbin Carroll. He's not in the lineup, which I'm happy for because he's been their best hitter. And the reason why I do that is I wanted to highlight him is because I see a lot of similarities for what Matt McLain is currently going in. Corbin Carroll in 2023 went out and won the American League or the National League Rookie of the Year. He had a great year. And then in 2024, he came back and he ended up at this point last year, he was batting 192 with a 557 OPS, which, that's really bad for especially somebody that was just the Rookie of the Year. So, and those numbers, they sound familiar because that sounds pretty similar to what McLain's line is. And the reason why I bring that up is because he was able to build throughout the year and ultimately had a pretty hot August, September, which then led into this year where he's batting 259 with a 908 OPS. And I already mentioned 18 home runs leading the team with that aspect. So Reason I bring this up is because this can happen. Sophomore slump is what McLean is going through, right? McLean he missed a year because of his shoulder, and now he's finding his first set of struggles in his baseball career. And so hopefully he can begin to find it this year. He can really begin to bring back, and then boy, I would love for him to get back to where he was in 2023 or even better at the end of this year and next year. So let's hope that we see the same trajectory for Matt McLean as we saw with Corbin Carroll. And my prediction here is I like that 5-run spot for the Reds in the first inning. The Stevenson, Steer, CES, all extra base hits, and we really start batting the ball around. I'm going to say 7-2 is my guess. So what did you say? You said 9 to 5. 9 to 5, and I said 7-2. If there are any other predictions of what today's game is, please put them in the chat. We'll highlight them before we go. Thanks again, everyone that has showed up. Do you have any last words here, Ricky, before we send it to Reds Live?
No, I was just gonna say I wish the chat could see how excited you were to talk about how McLean could turn it around, like, because if they can't see your hands, but you were going.
Oh yeah, my hands are my hands are going big time. You just can't see them in the screen. Yeah, I definitely talk with my hands a lot.
No,
and
I like that. I like that what to watch for, because I think that McLean. I have faith he's going to turn it around. And will it take him being sent down to get there? Maybe. But I think, he's going to be one of our best players. And I've said for a while now, a good Matt McLean is the Reds' best hitter in the lineup. So, I hope he can get it figured out.
Yeah, I completely agree. If we get to this point next year and Matt McLean has 15 home runs and an OPS over 900, boy, I can't, like, this whole group will be over the moon. There you go. I want to make sure I get my metaphors correct. TC Thompson, 4-2 Cincy. That's a nail biter. Optimistic John, 1-6. You're not living up to your name, John. I'm assuming you mean 1-6 where the Diamondbacks win. Let's hope that one doesn't happen. But hopefully we can go off and include. I think in my 7-2 prediction, Gino hits a 2-run home run. That's that. I just Lance brings that up. I just that seems very clear that that's going to happen.
I think my 5, he hits a grand slam. So
okay, I don't like that. He actually is on my fantasy baseball team, so I wouldn't hate it. But
as long as we win 9-5,
yeah, as long as we win, I think it's just who wins. So I think that's what we have today. Everyone, please like the stream. Thank you all for joining in. John is a Snakes fan. Let's hope not, man. Thank you again for joining in. Please join the post-game show with the Phillips brothers tonight. Look for Nick Kirby on the broadcast if they show him. If not, make sure that you tweet at FanDuel Sports Cincinnati to do so. Optimistic John says Reds 6, Diamondbacks 1. So I appreciate that. Hopefully we can get our bats off the schneid here. And if there's nothing else, Ricky, why don't you hit us with a Go Reds?
Go Reds.